Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode from Kenneth Brown Fishing. On today's episode, we're going to talk about Lake Perry. Lake Perry is down in Lucedale out on 98, um, out of Hattiesburg, out on 98, and it's a small water lake. It's Lake Perry, the water temp it kind of surprised me a little bit, but the water temp was 74 degrees. And at Lake Perry, they don't have a slot limit at Lake Perry on the bass. You can keep, whatever. But you can keep 10. And it don't matter the size or nothing like that, which kind of, made me a little nervous. Because normally, either the fishing is really, really hard, or the fish is something about the fish that either you're gonna catch a bunch of little ones. There's no big ones. It's just a lot of little ones, or the fishing is just tough. Normally when you have something like that, normally if the lake is healthy, you normally don't have a slot. I mean, you normally have a slot limit. So, but I fished Lake Perry so much in the past. I've caught big fish there before, and I've caught a lot of fish there before, and and this time the fishing was it was kind of tough. It was tougher than what it normally has been, and but the water was it was stained. It wasn't super clear, but it was a little stained. It's 74 degrees. I did find some water that was 77 degrees, and where we fished where when you launch a boat out, that first little cove right there, we fished in there. And we fished that channel that swings in front of that pier right there by that boat ramp. We fished there, and we went on down that side, that bank side, where that big flat is that comes out, extends out in the lake, almost to the channel. We fished that flat. There was a couple fish, hitting up there, shallow. We fished some flukes and swim jigs and stuff like that. We tried to, drag some soft plastics, but it's just that old silk, grassy, slimy stuff just kept getting on your baits. You just couldn't do anything. You just couldn't fish it good. You just couldn't. And we fished that whole side down there, and we didn't get a bite. We didn't get a bite that whole. We fished all the way to the dam. We didn't get a bite. We fished some sinkholes. We fished flukes. We fished some traps. So we pulled out. I pulled out and I fished back down that same run, just out deeper. And I thought maybe the fish was just sitting out, Pat pulled out and waiting to kind of go in, to feed or do their business, spawn or whatever. Nothing. We didn't get a bite. Nothing. I throw some crankbaits, and we throw some traps. We tried several things. I fished a brush pile, and I saw a few fish on that brush pile. I couldn't really make out. They was tight. They was really tight to that brush pile. I couldn't make out if they was actually bass or crappie or what they was in that brush pile, but I did, fish that brush pile, and nothing. I didn't get nothing. I fished it with a soft plastic, and I fished it with a lizard, and I fished it with not a brush hog. I fished it with a brush hog. I didn't get no bite, and I also fished it with a crankbait. Tipping those branches and stuff on that big brush pile they got out there, and I still didn't get a bite on it. And I've caught fish up by that pier so much, I went back in there because I just couldn't believe that I didn't get a bite. And I fished a wacky rig. I fished a wacky worm. I throw the wacky worm in there, nothing. And I just could not believe it. I caught one fish, and it was a chain pickerel. It's the only fish I caught in there, and I caught it on a swim jig. And so, I mean, nothing. I mean, nothing. So we moved on. We went down that run all the way to the back to that to the lily pads where the lily pads grow. We went back there and fished up in there, and I got up in there. The pads are just starting to come out. They're just starting to come out back there, and I fished up in there. I tried to listen. The wind was really, really high that day, and I set the poles down, and I tried to watch for blow-ups. I tried to watch for any hits or anything. Nothing. I fished a swim bait, trying to hit those pads and stuff in there. Nothing. And I fished that same swim jig. Nothing. I mean, we fished a frog. Nothing. And so we pulled back out, and we got kind of right where the pads meet, where they kind of first start growing. And my buddy caught one on a rattle trap. And so that was actually the first fish was on that rattle trap. And so that it has a little cove right in there before you get to the pads. If you headed to the pads, they're on the right. That little cove that kind of ducks off right there. It's not really a big cove, but it's a little something that ducks off right there. I did have several bites in there, but I think what was happening is those was either bluegill or white perch or something. I don't know, because of the way that they was hitting. Now, one of them, I know it was a bass. I know it was a bass when I set the hook on it. I know it was a bass, and really, it is all my fault. I was looking off. Really wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. I was looking off, just kind of reading the water. You know how sometimes you're just trying to read the water to see, what's going on, seeing the action, seeing if the life, and I got bit. And I have set the hook in the wrong position. I had to fish for a minute, and it pulled a little bit, and it come off. So a light kind of went on a little bit. I caught that fish around a small little bit of lily pads. And then so we moved on a little bit. Boom, went to the next little lily pads right down from that. It was the only little lily pads, the small little bitty ones now. They kind of bunched up there, and you will see them scattered on the lake. The small little lily pads. I went to the next lily pads, flipped in there, boom, caught one. Flipped in there again, boom, caught one. Went to the next set, which was it was after that first cove. That first little cove there. This is on the left-hand side of the lake, going back down the run, back toward the boat ramp on the left-hand side. That it's got like this old pier, used to be pier or whatever in there. On the corners, where you come in the cove, on the corners, they got the lily pads where them grew. We caught fish. I caught fish right there. I caught them on a Senko. And I was using a Lew's TI. And I was using that St. Croix Legend tournament. And 3/0 on a hook. And all I was using was a watermelon red Senko. That's all I was using. I wasn't whacker rigging it. I know you see it on here, whacker rig like this, but it's still on here. I just hadn't straightened it out and put it on here. I actually was fishing it. Texas rig is actually how I was fishing it. I was actually fishing it. Texas rig is how I was fishing it. And the only thing I done was throw it in there and let it fall, and they would nail it. And so what I figured out was they was actually on those little bitty pads. But the bigger thing was that they was on the corners of those coves. That means that they're on that secondary points, which was the corners of the coves, getting ready to move in there to spawn. That's where they were set up at. I could go long as you had those little lily pads on a corner of a cove, on a corner or sitting up on a spawning area, that's where the fish were. But it was later in the day when we figured out, so we couldn't fish all of them. But we fished all of them on that side. And everywhere they was, I got bit. Just on a regular Senko is all it was. Just a regular Senko, throwed it in them pads, just hooped it up, just flipped it up in there, let it fall, boom, nailed it. There wasn't no big bass. It was all males. It wasn't no, it wasn't no big ones. They was all males. Those males are the first ones to really move up. So, and I don't know, I didn't actually go in the other coves because we was catching them on the corners. And we was actually catching some fish, and it was getting late. And so I didn't go inside the coves to investigate to actually see if any fish was in there already, if this was the second wave coming in or what. But I know those male bass that's where they were sitting, is out on them corners. So, and that wouldn't be no reason for them to be moved in there and then come back out and just sitting on the corners already. But the water temp, like I say, was 74, 75, and I even found some 77-degree water. I was shocked that it was that warm. Almost 80-degree water. So, that's, what happened at Lake Perry. The water is kind of stable. It's not really high. It's kind of stable. It's got that big spillway in the back that's going to control the water depth, back there in the back. So, and but it seemed to be at normal pool to me. And like I say, we talked to the ranger there, and he said there's no slot limit on the bass. So you can keep whatever you catch, up to 10 per person. And, that's it. And we didn't catch no wall hangers. They was just your average pound, 2-pound fish is what we was catching. So, and, but that is my, breakdown on the lake. Is what's happening on the lake, what I seen. The water is not super clear. It's just kind of lightly stained, or it was when I went last week. It was just kind of lightly stained. So, and so that is the breakdown of Lake Perry from my trip there last week. You go. I hope you catch plenty of them. I hope you catch some big ones. I hope you catch a lot of them. And and we didn't fish the dam. I don't know if I said that or not, but we did not fish the dam. We went to the dam and come back up. We didn't go down the dam and actually fish down the dam any. I've had some luck in the summertime on that dam, on that big top they got out there. I've had, man, on a crankbait, but I ain't gonna get into all that. And we didn't fish that other bank on that other side. The bank on the opposite side, we did not fish at all. We only fished that one side. So I don't know how that other side, is, because we didn't get a chance to get to it. So that's my breakdown of Lake Perry. Appreciate you guys for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment if you got any questions. If it's something you want to know, hey, put it in the comments. I'll answer you and let you know. If I know it, I'll tell it. And now what we did use that we didn't catch any fish on was crankbaits, and the swim jig. I only caught that chain picker on that swim jig. I didn't even know those was in there. I've never caught one there before, but I caught that chain picker on swim jig, so I won't count that one as a bass caught on it. And we didn't catch any dragging a soft plastic. Like I say, I dragged a lizard. I dragged a brush hog. I dragged a crawl. Nothing. We didn't get anything on that. So, like I say, the only bait we caught them on was that rattle trap and that Senko. It's the only baits. So, appreciate it, guys. Appreciate you watching. And I'm going to try to come with another video here real soon. Appreciate it.